Levi Baligod, who presented a sworn affidavit from 18 current and former Philippine Armed Service personnel tied to this case in question. This is very intriguing. Mr. Baligod, good afternoon and welcome to the program on RT International.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Rory Sochet, and good afternoon as well to all your viewers.
It's a great pleasure to have you on the program today, sir. Just so I understand, you are the attorney representing 18 individuals who made claims of delivering suitcases stuffed with cash that were allegedly for funding an ICC probe into the former president, Rodrigo Duterte. Can you please help me understand and break that down? Over to you.
Yes, these 18 former military officers were employed by former Congressman Saldico, who was the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations. And they were involved in the delivery of cash on several occasions to Mr. Trillanes, who was in charge with liaisoning with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines. So they know that large amount of money was delivered to Mr. Trillanes to support his collaboration with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines.
So this sounds like good old-fashioned bribery, if I'm not mistaken. So if I understand this ICC or this official working for the ICC probe was accepting suitcases of cash to further his probe into his how he wanted it to work out. Help me understand this.
No, to be fair, the 18 former soldiers did not see Mr. Trillanes actually handing money to the ICC investigators, but they know that large amounts of money were delivered to Mr. Trillanes, being the liaison of the political opponents of former President Duterte here. And then they also saw, being the security detail to the ICC investigators, that they only interviewed witnesses that were brought to them by Mr. Trillanes, and therefore it is a fair conclusion that there was no bona fide investigation that was conducted here. All their expenses, hotel accommodations, travel expenses, including the use of private vehicles owned by politicians who are publicly known as opponents of Mr. Duterte, were used by the ICC investigators. And we know that being investigators, they should not only be impartial, but should also appear to be impartial.
Yeah.
But that did not happen here in the Philippines.
All right, so if I'm getting this correct, that some of this money is coming from former political opponents of Rodrigo Duterte. They want to make sure the ICC probe hammers down on Duterte and essentially gets him out of the political picture. But after these accusations came to light, Mr. Baligod, I wanted to ask you, Duterte, when he was doing his war on drugs, I was working at CNN back during this, and he did, I thought he did a lot of good work. I know that, some of the guys who were dealing the drugs in the Philippines, these were armed militant gangs, they had machine guns and all sorts of stuff, and Duterte was doing the right thing by trying to help society by cracking down on these narcotic gun-wielding gangs. But the problem is, Duterte became a problem in the eyes of certain Western players. I remember distinctly back in 2016, the former U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, he went for a lunch/dinner with Duterte at the presidential palace. And the story goes that John Kerry, the former U.S. Secretary of State, gave Duterte, or tried to give him, a suitcase with $700,000 in cash. Duterte reportedly said no. Really pissed off John Kerry. Ever since then, Duterte's been a problem. What are your thoughts?
Well, my observation about the former president is that he is not corrupt, and that the drug war was a necessity to prevent the Philippines from being ruled by narco politicians, and that his warnings about killing drug lords and drug pushers in the Philippines was a statecraft necessity to discourage would-be criminals from continuing with their criminal trade.
We know that America wanted the Philippines to take a certain hard line against China. And Manila is trying to play both sides. Well, we want to be friendly with China, we want to be friendly with America, but maybe one or two are asking us to choose sides. Does that make any sense to you, Levy?
Yeah, because the Philippines sits in a strategic location, which is part of the first island chain, as they say. But there is a government template where the Philippines should deal with China economically and deal with America militarily to balance both hegemons, so to speak. But that did not work because the U.S. would not want the Philippines to build a stronger relationship, economic relationship with China. And also China would not want the Philippines to have a strong military relationship with the U.S.
Yeah.
So that is true. We are between the devil and the deep blue sea, or between Sheila and Charities, no?
Yeah.
But, our foreign policymakers in the Philippines should realize that the Philippines can be both friends to China and the U.S. And the Philippines being a strategic, geographically strategic in the South China Sea is already an obsolete concept when it comes to geopolitics, if I may say.
Well, it's. I think you're absolutely right. You're for the Philippines really stuck between a rock and a hard place, between two of the biggest global players on the block. I think it's a very intriguing and somewhat disconcerting position to be in. But we're so grateful for your time. We're also grateful, frankly, for the former presidency of Rodrigo Duterte. But for the meantime, Philippine lawyer Levy Baligod, it's so good to have you on the program to